Hey everyone, thank you so much for showing so much love to my first episode. And I am here with the second episode, and today with the topic internship. Internship is very important in everyone's life, right? So, we all want to have an internship in a big firm or maybe in a foreign university, and that too fully sponsored, right? So, to clear all your doubts and questions today with me, I have Mr. Sai. He has done his internship from Georgia Institute of Technology, USA. Not only this, he has done his internship from Indian Institute of Science, that is IISc as well. So let's get started with the podcast, and I'll see you after the podcast. Hey everyone, so this is the second episode of my podcast series Unguarded, and today with me I have Sai, and I met him in a hackathon actually, and he was mentor there, and I was just so attracted towards his work and what he was doing. So welcome Sai, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you for having me here, Yashank.
Okay, thank you for accepting my invitation and actually taking time out of your busy schedule.
No, no worry.
Okay. Okay, cool. So today in this podcast, we'll be having three sections, and the sections name gonna be from your field, that is vision. Okay, so the first one I have is tech stones. So basically, the basic building blocks how your college life was, and second
Sure.
I say is optical flow. So it's gonna
hmm
be something to compare in it, and at the last I have something called rapid fire in normal life, but we'll be calling it as bag of virtual words. Okay, so
Sure.
talking
Definitely.
about first, I'll just tell everyone that he has actually achieved so much in his life right now. He just graduated or just gave his exams. So first of all, congratulations to you for completing your B degree.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's an achievement, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it is an achievement. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about lockdown. Like how actually lockdown affected you, like your work and
Yeah.
college life.
Sure. I think in terms of college life, there was no much difference because the last semester for us is anyway an internship semester.
Okay.
But all my projects really got shifted as soon as the lockdown and COVID came. I was working on computer vision projects, and as soon as coronavirus came, we started working on projects related to coronavirus and all. So that has affected me. And of course, working from home, I feel is a little more difficult than working in the lab or working at the workplace. So these are two major ways. Yeah, it has kind of impacted me. And of course, the lockdown put shifted all my plans for my masters to the next spring. That's how it is affected.
Okay, great. So like it's happening with everyone. Like you are more lazy now. You have a lot of time to work, but you actually feel more lazier at home instead of working.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one way to put it. Yeah.
Okay. So the first question I have is when you took uh, admission in your college life, what were your expectations to those 4 years, and what you were expecting to have in those 4 years?
Yeah. When I joined Thapar, so I was pretty, I mean, my goals were pretty consistent that I always wanted to, I knew that I wasn't in maybe the premier college in the country, but I always wanted to get a good graduation school. So I had that goal clear, and I expected Thapar would give me that kind of exposure where I can, and that freedom where I can explore and get a very strong profile. Um, yeah, that's what I expected from it. And I can say that I don't know how it has helped me, but they're definitely given me a lot of freedom to do what I want and let me go out and explore. In that way, Thapar has lived up to that expectations for me. So yeah, that's how
Great,
it
because
is.
the field you have chosen, like more in the most of the college, that's not the basic subject or basic mainstream thing in most of the colleges, right? Because in every most of the colleges they focus on web, Android, or something of a software engineering type. But the field you took was like something really different from what most of the people are doing. Like most of the people are under doing some full stack development or Android or Flutter and everything. So how did you manage and how did you started your thinking or going into this computer vision thing?
Yeah, I think it happens for everyone. You start doing things which you come across. You might have seen your senior doing web development, or a lot of people doing web development. You would have entered web development, or you might have gone to a hackathon and you've seen those winners making some computer vision projects, and that's how you went. So for me also, it was a very similar thing. I did my internship in the National Innovation Foundation in the first year summer. So there were certain problems like crop vandalism, where animals come down and eat crops. So then there I realized that how humans do solve that problem. They look at the cows and then they chase those cows or cattle away. From there on I started thinking computer. I came across that problem there, so luckily I came across that problem, and then I started building computer vision from then on.
Okay, great. So like in your first year only, you get to know like, yeah, I have to do this, right? Because
That I came across that, and that kind of interested me, and then from then on it took up that path only.
okay, so with this, there is a question many people wanted me to ask you that. Like, it's so much confusion right now for people, like for the first year student mostly, like what they should do. Because whenever they see something doing like something really good, or someone have won an hackathon, as you said, so you just see like you start doing that. Like if someone is doing Flutter, you go into Flutter. But then later on GitHub, you see someone's repo and he's doing web development, you start doing web development as well, right? So there is confusion. So what is the right way to choose your path? Like how should someone think of it? Like, yeah, I have to choose this.
Yeah, so I think even I had this problem. I had my hands on Android, Flutter, web development, and all. But eventually, when it comes to deciding a goal, what is it you want? What is it you want to do after your college? Do you want to do higher studies? And is web development going to help you at that point? Maybe not, right? But if you want to do a good job, say something like in Google or Facebook or any company, does MERN stack help you? It will help you. So it all depends on how quickly you decide your goal. So around second year, like I told you, like the moment I entered college, I was like, okay, I need to get to a good graduation school, at least for my postgrad. So at that point I knew that if I there's a potential chance of me doing research in these areas. So in computer vision I feel there's a chance of research, so that's how I chose. But if somebody's goal is, say that no, I want to work in a workplace, and they feel that MERN stack is going to help them, they should stick to it. They should actually stick to their goals, and your learning should be associated with your final goal rather than what others are doing.
Okay, great. So
That's
actually, so what I get from you is like you should need to focus on your goal and then mark down the things that will help you to achieve that goal, right?
exactly, like, absolutely. Like again, as I told you, if you want to work in say something like a financial company like JP Morgan, for example, as a software developer, you would be doing a lot of querying, database, cloud, and development, Java. So these are the things you like. When you say that you want to work for JP Morgan and you start doing computer vision and all, it doesn't really make sense, right? So
Yeah.
lock your goal and then build your blocks to build the building.
Okay, great. So one more thing, like whenever someone start doing something, for say, taking my example, if for say I've started learning Unity 3D. So the one
Mhm.
thing I get stuck to is tutorials, because the first thing come in mind is let's go to YouTube and let's find some basic, like basic Unity 3D beginners tutorials, correct? Like this. And for everyone it happens, but sometimes it happens like what they are doing is not the ideal way to do it, right? The ideal way is to actually learn the documentation. So do you prefer reading documentation or do you prefer buying some course and then doing it?
I think I'll be honest. I don't think if I straight away open the documentation, I'll be able to build something. Build something. So I think it's the way we are grown up. We need things a little spoon fed. So I would start off. I generally, my preparation would be go through YouTube or Udemy, get some tutorial, get an understanding of it because they explain what they're doing. And once I get that level of comfort, then the documentation starts making sense. Actually, like if I straight away open the documentation, it doesn't make sense. So once I reach certain level of comfort, then the documentation feels okay, good. I like say I'm just, for example, I'm working on OpenCV, for example. Now I don't need to go through the tutorial. I can just open the documentation and then work on, because that's the level of comfort you reach. Once you reach that comfort, you can do it. For some people, you just read the documentation, they reach that level of comfort. So it's up to you eventually how you reach that stage of comfort, from where very trivial things start making sense very easily.
So, but the end goal should be like you should look at the documentation for once at least.
Yeah, you should. I mean, without the documentation, because this tutorial might get outdated, but the documentation stays up to date. So there's a new API, for example, has a new function which this library has put in. The tutorial is not going to tell you, and you feel that that feature is never there in that whole
Correct.
library, and you'll be reinventing the wheel. But you should always stay in touch with the documentation. Just give it at least once a look when you're trying to do something.
Okay, great. So another question, like I took it from the survey as well. So people are looking at this, like they have a lot of subjects in their college life, and whenever they try to do something of their own and they lag in their college life, or if they focus on their college subjects, they lag in their projects and everything. So how one should, what's the ideal thing to do it right here, so that they should maintain a balance right there?
Yeah, these are very easy to be said, but to be followed are actually very difficult. I mean, because I
Yeah.
also went through these things. So I would rather say, really don't stress out on this ki, "अरे यार मैं नहीं पढ़ रहा हूँ because I'm not studying because I'm doing something." Don't really stress it. Anything which happens will happen for 2 or 3 days. It'll happen for a few days. Just go through that phase, and then again things will get back normal. So during this congested phase, we start making decisions like, I won't be part of this, I won't be part of that. So the way I see it is, um, don't immerse yourself in everything that's there in college, because there's so much, like every day you'll have some event or something happening around. You should really like stick to 2 or 3 things. I would say one or two, actually. 1 or 2 things which really help you. Again, make sure whatever you choose again fits with your final goal. Say somebody is interested in network security, and if he's doing some fest organization and all, it's not something that will really help him out, because no company is going to hire you saying that, acha, you are a manager, come on, go on. That doesn't help. So choose things which really align with what you want to do, and then things will be really easy for you to.
Okay, great, great. Okay, so as you were mentioning as well, so you are pursuing for the masters as well, right?
True, yes, I have
Okay,
admissions for my masters.
for most of the people, what we are looking at is like engineers can do anything but not engineering right now. I'll give an
Right.
example. Like people are going into banking sector, people are going for IAS, people are going for, you can say, MBA. But
MBA, yes.
actual the real engineers are very less. So why do you think that's happening?
I think this is fundamentally the problem in us. It's not the society or anything. We fail to see a lot of problems, because there are so many problems which we can step up and solve. But we're not given in the sense, we don't look to even search for these problems until we face it. So the moment you start seeing problems, just for example, I'm currently working as an intern at Inventor Robotics. So you see, there is a problem where doctors go into the COVID ward and they might get infected with COVID, right? So this is
Right.
a genuine problem. I mean, there's nobody needs to tell you. You need to just sit and think what's the problem, and you'll know that this is a problem. But how many people are actually stepping forward to solve this problem is, I don't know. I feel like very few people.
Yeah.
So we fail to see problems, and unfortunately, we start seeing problems in other sectors, through other ways, but where they can actually be solved through engineering. So you start becoming a very good engineer once you start seeing problems. I was lucky to intern in my first year under Dr. Anil Kumar Gupta. He's a Padma Shri recipient. He's from IMA. So he explicitly talks about this whole internship. The whole point of this internship is for you to identify problems, and how do you come to solve across them. I would suggest, if any juniors are interested, next year they should kind of look at applying to Srishti. It's called SRISTI, where they really align students to look into problems. And I feel good engineers will come when they start solving problems.
Yeah, greatly said. Like you need to look at the problems, then you have to decide what you want to do, right? Great.
True.
So moving on to next section, and the next section we have is optical flow, and I am pretty sure you are using optical flow in your day-to-day life a lot. Okay, so
Yeah, sure.
for people, I'll tell you guys, like he has a lot of achievements, and I'm gonna ask him to compare those achievements among himself. Like, what was is the best thing for him? Like, the first is best research paper by IEEE, right? I saw
Yeah.
your, yeah, and the second one was your hackathon wins. I guess NSUIT and OctaHacks, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
you gotta compare
So
how both of them change your life, and what will you prefer? Like, if someone asks you, you have to choose one for your whole life and give up others. So what you gonna have choose between them?
yeah, sure. Just to start off, both of them have been very instrumental in my resume or going forward. But if I had to choose, I would choose the paper at IEEE ICA because I told you that I was looking for a master's abroad. So this really, like, this was my opening paragraph. Like, my interest, because if I want to convey my interest in research, these hackathons might not convey my interest in research, but a paper will actually reflect my interest in research. So I'll keep that. But again, just to be clear, these papers are not these conferences are not top conferences. They are just undergraduate conferences. So
Yeah.
they're, at that point for me, those if I had to compare, I'd have to choose this one for sure. Yeah.
Okay, great. Like this is you are taking this like you are moderating this, but this is actually a great achievement. Like not a small thing, and I'll just congratulate for all these winnings and all these achievements.
Thank
And
you.
for the and one more thing, like that's the dream for every student having an internship, not in India, outside India, and within your college life, right? And you were intern at Georgia Institute, I guess. So how was your
Yes, Georgia
experience?
Tech.
And there'll be a lot of people who wanted me to ask how you actually got that opportunity and how actually you made it to there.
Sure. So the opportunity I would say is you have to write a lot of emails. Yeah, like I wrote around say 400, 500 emails to professors just to get opportunity. So in my sophomore year summer, I was interning at Inventor Robotics where I'm currently working. So there I met a friend. He was also an intern, but he was from Georgia Tech. So then he saw my work and he said that there is a professor in Georgia Tech whom you should contact because his work and my work matches. So I wrote an email to him. So the art generally, I think the first win, if your professor is interested in you, it will be because of your email. So how you write your email really changes the whole game.
Correct.
So I clearly mentioned what I have done so far and what he's doing in his lab and how my work might help him in continuing the research there, because he's not going to do some charity to just take me and pay me money all
True,
the way
true.
to the US, right? He wants some work to get done. So and now it's all left to you in your email. How are you going to convince him saying that you are the guy who's going to help get your work done? So that's the whole point. And after that I had a series of interviews, like lots of interviews. They took around 4 5 months of interviews.
Okay.
So assignments and video calls, and after that they were like, okay, fine, we'll have you for the summer for 3 months. And this is where I said Thapar really helped me. I just kind of bunked 1 month of college and because and then nobody asked me, like they were really happy to send me. So
Okay.
that's how it went. Yeah,
That's
that's
great.
how I
That's
made
great.
it to there. Yeah.
Yeah, just as you mentioned, like I'm gonna talk about this as well. Like whenever you are writing something to some professional, you gotta write like in a really art way, because that's gonna be something smart work there. And if that smart work, then you gotta show your hard work there, right? You gotta,
Absolutely, absolutely.
because you gotta tell like, yeah, I like your work, you should like my work, but this is the way I would like to help you. There you,
Exactly.
there you show like this not only profit of mine, it's actually yours as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, correct.
So
Yeah.
one thing I could add on is people generally, I've seen sophomores or third year students write to professor saying that I did a course, I did XYZ course. I mean, the professor is not really bothered about you did XYZ. I mean, that if you did that, if you look Andrew Ng's course, I think there are 5 lakh or 6 lakh people who have completed that course. So you're not the only one out there. So you got to put it in a way saying that, hey, I completed course XYZ and you're working on project ABC. Each of these cores can help me contribute to your projects in some manner, and that is where you will get the edge over the rest of your colleagues applying or peers applying. So that is
Okay.
where you have to be careful. Yeah.
Great, great. Like that's a great learning for me as well. Like I'm gonna write a
Yeah.
lot of mails in coming year as well. Okay.
Sure.
So the last section we have is that's gonna be bag of visual words. I'm gonna ask you very, very fine and very fun questions regarding your life, personal life, and everything. You
Sure.
gotta be really fast to answer that. Okay, let's start.
Sure.
Okay. So
Sure.
the first thing, favorite language.
Telugu. I mean, yeah,
Okay.
sorry, you mean
A
programming
coding
language?
language. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, Python.
Okay. Favorite code editor.
VS Code.
Okay. Preferable time to code, day or night.
Night. Anyway.
Marvel or DC.
Marvel.
Hershey's or Cadbury.
Cadbury.
Cadbury. Okay. Elon Musk, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Great. Udacity or Udemy.
Udemy.
Udemy. Cool. Web or Android.
Web.
Government job or a private sector.
Oh, I wish I could get some good government job. Yeah.
Okay. Great. That's it for this section. So thank you for joining, and I'll just ask a last question, and that's like
Sure.
something everyone should listen to it, and that's like a bonus line for everyone. What's your three main agenda of your life that made you achieve all of this, and what's the three learning you have that actually made you so achievable in your life?
Yeah, I think there's still a long way to go and achieve. But
Yeah.
if I had to choose something, I'll take it from Dr. Anil Gupta, who has always said this. You have to be really empathetic and compassionate. That'll help you solve problems. That's two words. And the last word would be consistency. I feel people say smart work and hard work, but I feel true success really starts coming when you be really consistent. And I'm trying to be more consistent in what I'm trying to do. But I think we will find the difference ourselves also. Like studying for one day is hard work, studying for 3 days distributedly is maybe smart work, but studying continuously over a period of time is consistently studying will help you score better. So being empathy, showing empathy, being compassionate, and consistently working, I think I mean, these are standard words everybody might be saying. So yeah, they'll help you do stuff.
Yeah, great. So, from your answers only, I have got another question. Sorry for that, but actually,
Yeah,
there's
yeah, definitely.
for a lot of people, like I have been talking to a lot of people from coding clubs and everything from LinkedIn as well,
Mm-hmm.
and they are finding this really tough to do. Like they are working for GitHub, they are working for LinkedIn, they are working on hackathons, they are working for college life, they are working for themselves. Like there is a lot to manage, right? But there is a need to manage your GitHub and LinkedIn, the social medias, and with your work as well, right? So how important LinkedIn and GitHub is for a developer?
Oh, I cannot just stress on the importance, and at least for LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn is for me extremely important because, and people are kind of shy to put what they've achieved on LinkedIn, or they're not really active on LinkedIn. I say that no, don't care what people say. Just if you have something to tell, it's a free world. I mean, you can put something relevant to the platform. Yeah, keep your LinkedIn updated. I can't stress on the importance of it because people, especially in abroad, they just go through your LinkedIn profile, forget your resume, they just go through your LinkedIn profile because they don't download resumes and stuff like that. So LinkedIn is very important both in terms of jobs and see, it's about network. Eventually, how successful you are, I think, will boil down to what is your network. So if you keep doing good stuff, people will get connected to you and you will have strong connections, and at any point in time you want to do something and you put it on LinkedIn saying, hey, I'm looking for a job, just for example, you have quality connections who know about your work,
Correct.
and then at that point things become really easy. So yeah, I think LinkedIn is very important. GitHub, again, it's a personal choice. I've seen some great developers who don't even touch GitHub, like they just manage stuff on their own, they just put it on the computer and they push it to production. So it is important, no doubt. It's a good evaluative metric on what you're doing, but LinkedIn definitely is the go-to stuff people should. You'll be
Great.
aware of what people are doing also. Like you will know, I'll know what you are doing or your achievement. You'll know what I'm doing. So that's how LinkedIn works. I like LinkedIn. Yeah.
Great, great. And so thank you, Sai, for coming and talking to me for this podcast. And I'll
Sure.
be troubling you again if people ask me for the part two, and we're gonna soon shoot that part two as well if people gives a good response to this as well.
Sure.
And
I'll be
I'll
glad.
I'll gonna put all of these social media and every social links in the description box below, and you can actually I'll gonna put a Excel sheet as well. You're gonna ask him questions, and I'll ask him if he'll be able to answer that, and I guess he'll be able
Yeah.
to answer, right?
Yeah, yeah, sure. I mean, if yeah, definitely. If people need to connect, they can connect on my Instagram page. It's called must_grow, where we talk about such kind of stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, great. So
required.
I'm gonna put all of those in the link in the description box. Thank you, Sai. Thank
Sure.
you so much, and
Oh,
I
my pleasure.
and I hope you gonna achieve a lot in your life, and we're gonna see a lot of your achievements on LinkedIn very soon.
Sure. Thank you. Hope. Yeah, I
Okay,
wish everybody gets what they
okay.
want. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sai.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Okay.